What if the person you've admired for years, the one you thought you truly knew, had a secret love story so emotional, so heartbreaking, that it could completely change the way you see them? Sounds impossible, right? But this story is real. Hey there, welcome back to the channel. You know, we often think fame protects people from heartbreak. Like, once you've made it big, love and emotions get easier. But in reality, fame can make it even harder. Because when the whole world is watching, love becomes complicated, and sometimes, painful. Today, we're going to talk about JD. Yeah, that JD. The icon, the star, the person everyone thought they knew inside out. But behind all that fame, behind all those interviews and red carpets, there was a love story. One that was hidden for years. One that ended in tears, silence, and heartbreak. And now, after all this time, the truth is finally out. JD's most shocking, tear-filled love affair, revealed after years of silence. So grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's dive in. Because this story has everything: love, secrecy, fame, heartbreak, and a twist that'll leave you speechless. Let's rewind the clock for a moment. Before all the fame. Before the scandals. Before the world turned JD into a headline machine. Back then, JD was just another human being, chasing dreams and falling in love like anyone else. And it all started in the most unexpected way. JD met someone special on set, long working hours, shared jokes, inside moments that only two people who truly connect can understand. At first, it was just friendly. But soon, it turned into something deeper. Something real. That kind of connection where time stops. You know the feeling, right? When one conversation turns into 3 hours. When you catch yourself smiling at your phone. When everything feels easy, effortless, and right. JD fell in love. Completely. But here's where it gets complicated. Fame changes everything. When you're constantly in the spotlight, privacy becomes a luxury. So they kept the relationship secret. Totally hidden. And honestly, can you blame them? Imagine being watched, photographed, followed everywhere. Every hug, every whisper, every smile could become gossip in seconds. So they created their own little world. Late-night meetups. Hidden messages. Handwritten letters. Private calls. It was like something out of a movie, romantic, risky, and totally secret. For a while, they made it work. They managed to balance love and fame. But as JD's career skyrocketed, things began to change. The world started paying attention to JD in a way it hadn't before. More attention, more pressure, more rumors. And the more the spotlight grew, the smaller their private world became. There were whispers in the tabloids. Stories made up by people who knew nothing about what was really going on. Every headline brought more tension. Every misunderstanding hit harder. And little by little, that beautiful connection they once had started to fade. JD was torn between two worlds, the public one that demanded attention and the private one that needed care and honesty. But no matter how hard they tried, fame began to win. JD's partner started to feel invisible. Like they didn't exist anymore. Imagine loving someone but having to pretend you don't. Imagine seeing their face everywhere, on TV, on billboards, online, and knowing that the world sees them, but you can't even hold their hand in public. It's painful. And that pain slowly started to tear them apart. JD tried to fix things. They really did. But the schedules, the endless media pressure, and the constant noise made it almost impossible. And just like that, the love story that once felt unbreakable came to an end. You know that saying, love can survive anything? Well, that's not always true. Because sometimes, the world gets too loud, and even the strongest love can't be heard over it. Years went by. JD rarely spoke about it. People assumed it was just another celebrity fling. But those close to JD knew, this wasn't just another chapter. This was the story. The one that changed everything. Then, recently, JD finally opened up in an interview, and it caught everyone off guard. He was emotional. His voice broke. You could tell he wasn't performing. He was remembering. He said, "That was the one love that got away. I was too focused on being seen by the world, and I stopped seeing the person right beside me." That line hit everyone who heard it. And honestly, it hits all of us too, doesn't it? Because we've all been there in some way, taking someone for granted, thinking they'll always be there, until they're not. It's such a simple truth, but it's powerful. Fame didn't destroy that love. Silence did. And that's something relationship experts often talk about, the silent drift. You see, when stress or fame or pressure enters a relationship, people stop talking. They go quiet. They assume their partner already knows how they feel. But the truth is, silence is love's quietest killer. It sneaks in slowly until it's too late. One relationship coach once said, "When you stop communicating, you stop connecting." And that's exactly what happened to JD. He thought keeping things private would protect their love. But in the end, it built a wall between them. And even though JD has never revealed who that person was, insiders say this relationship was the inspiration behind one of his most emotional performances ever. When you go back and watch it now, knowing this story, you can see it. The pain, the longing, the regret, it's all there. It's like art imitating life in the most haunting way. Now, before we move on, I want to pause and say something that might sound a little personal. Because it's easy to point fingers or romanticize celebrity heartbreaks. But the truth is, this story isn't just about JD. It's about all of us. We've all had moments where we got too busy, too distracted, or too scared to be honest. We've all loved someone deeply but failed to say the words that mattered most. So maybe JD's story isn't a scandal. Maybe it's a reminder. A reminder to call that person. To say how you feel. To not wait for the perfect moment, because it might never come. And if you're wondering how JD feels now, well, in that same interview, he smiled softly and said, "I hope they're happy. I really do." There was no bitterness in his voice. Just quiet acceptance. That kind of peace that comes only after years of carrying something heavy. It's strange, isn't it? The world sees the fame, the money, the glamour. But behind it all are the same human feelings we all have: love, loss, regret, and hope. And maybe that's why this story connects with so many people. Because deep down, we've all had someone who got away. Someone we still think about sometimes. Someone we wish we'd held onto just a little longer. So, let me ask you something. Do you think true love can survive fame? Or do you think it's doomed once the world gets involved? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Seriously, tell me what you think. And if this story gave you chills, or made you feel something, you'll want to stick around for the next video. It's called Hidden Letters, the secret messages JD never wanted the world to see. It's the perfect follow-up to everything we just talked about. It's got even more layers, more emotions, and a few revelations that'll completely change the way you see this story. Before you go, make sure to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and tap the little bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Because here, we don't just talk about stories, we feel them. Now, just between us, don't you think JD's love life could make a movie? I mean, seriously, it has everything. The spark, the secrecy, the heartbreak, the quote that breaks your heart. At this point, JD's story has more twists than a Netflix series. But jokes aside, it's also one of the most real and human stories out there. Fame may make things look glamorous, but it doesn't protect anyone from the pain of losing someone you love. And if there's one lesson in all this, it's this: communication matters more than anything. Talk, share, express. Even if it's awkward. Even if it's scary. Because silence might feel safe in the moment, but it's what slowly pulls people apart. JD learned that the hard way. And maybe, in a strange way, that's what makes him more relatable. He's not just a celebrity anymore. He's someone who made a mistake, lost something precious, and learned to live with it. That's what makes his story powerful. It's not the glamour, it's the honesty. So, next time you see JD in an interview, smiling or cracking a joke, remember that behind that charm is someone who once loved deeply, lost painfully, and found peace slowly. And maybe that's what makes this bombshell so human. It's not about scandal. It's about vulnerability. Because love, real love, isn't perfect. It's messy, unpredictable, and sometimes heartbreaking. But it's also what makes us alive. So yeah, JD's love story was shocking. It was emotional. It was raw. But most of all, it was real. And that's why, after all these years, it still matters. Thanks for watching, and thank you for feeling this story with me. Don't forget to leave a comment below. I love hearing your thoughts, your stories, your take on what love means in today's world. And remember, everyone has a story, even the people we think have it all. See you in the next video.